Facebook, $252 billion gone. As far as Wikipedia is concerned, the GDP of Finland. Amazing.
Wow. And to be clear, we're not talking actual dollars. We're talking valuation.
Speculated value. Yeah, brutal. Apparently, average usage of Facebook dipped for the first time ever, leading to concerns that Instagram may not be far behind. Meta's CFO, Dave Werner, blames Wenner? I don't know. Sure. Blames part of the decrease on fewer COVID-19 lockdowns. Darn, you should really crank on that a little more, which historically generated a boom in online activity.
I mean, he's not wrong, but like, really? Why would you say that?
Exactly.
Like, why?
That sounds like you're the CFO of Meta.
Yeah, kind of, doesn't it?
Also blamed the rising internet costs in India and rising interest in TikTok, which analysts say is hurting Instagram's growth. To combat TikTok, Instagram has been investing billions of dollars and lots of development time into the development of more video-related features, which they say is their like fastest growing thing on Instagram.
Like Reels.
Fastest growing format by far, but is not popular yet to attract similar ad sales to traditional Facebook services.
Yeah. So, as a result of these challenges, including lower than expected revenue, MetaBook has lost $252 billion. That's with 9 zeros on the end. And they aren't alone. Twitter, Snap, and Pinterest all closed lower on Thursday. However,
Shopify has been struggling too. A lot of tech stocks have been struggling.
This is interesting. MetaBook's wipeout here is the biggest crash in a single day in stock market history. 26.3% of the company's value evaporated.
Nice.
And this isn't the first time their stock crashed. In 2018, they also lost 19% of their value over slowing user growth.
Yeah, like a lot of the speculated value of that company is based on projected eventual growth.
Yes.
So if they stop growing, then everyone goes, whoa, whoa, whoa.
And if they even stop growing like crazy, because so much of it is just based on speculation that they can only go to the moon.
Yeah. Graph only goes up, dude.
It's not true.
Stocks only go up. There was a question at the end saying, is this a good thing? I mean, MetaBook is a popular punching bag, but should they really crash and burn? AY's take was yes. CW's take
Anthony.
was yes.
That's Colin.
AS's take was yes.
That's our new guy. Okay.
What do you think?
The team is unanimous.
It's a complicated question because like Facebook losing value, the publicly traded company, so that means people with stocks lose value.
Yeah, that means real people actually like lost money today. I don't.
A decent amount of the ownership of Facebook is probably in the hands of people that I'm not very concerned about.
That's fair as well. But Facebook also has a lot of retail investors.
There is probably a lot of non 1% or 2%ers that have ownership there as well.
And I'm never rooting for that.
No.
I mean, even the 1%, I think we need to stop vilifying the 1% quite as much. Because okay, here, hold on a second.
Are you saying we should widen it?
Widen it? Well, you can't widen it because it's 1%.
No, your scope. Like, should you go beyond 1%?
No. Okay, so hold on. 1% top earners, hold on. Where is it? 1% top earners in Canada. Okay, so the 1% in Canada is is this household income?
Much lower. Canada has lower population than California.
Yeah, but it's a dollar value.
But this is Facebook ownership, so you'd have to include Americans.
Okay, sure. Okay, top 1% earners in U.S. Okay, so what is that? The top 1% represents about 1.3 million households who roughly make more than $500,000 a year. Okay, that's higher than it is in Canada. Okay, that seems like a bit of a problem. Because in Canada...
I'm not very worried if people who make over 500 grand a year see a loss.
In Canada, we're talking 320,000 Canadian. So that's like under $250,000 US a year. So you're talking like potentially like a neurosurgeon or something like that. You're not talking someone who's just making money through flexing their money. These are people that conceivably are actually working.
It depends.
Day to day. Not all of them. But what I'm trying to say is I don't think...
Neurosurgeon person who has to pay off their immense student debt, and might have Facebook shares.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't wish that their
Sure.
stuff goes down. I think a huge percentage of people that are in that section that are not neurosurgeons and maybe inherited a bunch of wealth or whatever else.
Well, that's not earnings though. So because there's two different ways
Would that
of
mean
measuring
they don't
the 1%.
show up under the 1%?
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, right. Because you can either measure it by income, and there are actual working people that make $250,000 a year because they just happen to be like really, really good at something specialized. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But once you get into the
We're not saying whether or not we have a problem with it. We're saying if we feel bad because Facebook stock, this is a weird conversation.
Sure.
We're saying if we feel bad because they lost money or value or whatever because Facebook stock went down.
Sure. I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel bad because not every investor in Facebook is some kind of cartoon villain.
Oh, yeah.
There's
I'm
retail
100%
investors.
certain that there are people that are invested in Facebook that are grinding super hard in
Yes.
very, very low paid jobs.
Sure.
And have been saving everything they possibly can to try to get into the stock market because that's what a lot of people tell you to do. And they're trying to dig themselves out of whatever they can by doing that type of stuff. And they might be invested in Facebook and they might have just lost a lot of potential money. And that could be very damaging and very unfortunate. I think that is probably few and far between.
And to be clear, I'm not saying that someone in the top 1% in Canada is somehow a pauper, right? I'm not saying that they're living in poverty. I'm saying that compared to the 0.1%, which averaged apparently $1.7 million in 2018, they are, relatively speaking, probably actually spending a significant amount of that money, putting it back into circulation, because hoarding is the problem. If the top 0.1%, if the top earners were actually spending all of it, because that's something that gets talked about a lot. People who want to defend the wealthy, they'll say, well, you know,
Trickle-down economics.
They trickle-down economics. They create jobs.
Reagan.
They only create jobs
They spend that money.
if they spend the money on
that
jobs.
cash.
That's the only
Yeah,
way.
and if they're buying more art, if they're using more services, if they're going out and spending a lot of money,
tipping $1,000,
Sure,
or
yeah.
whatever. If they're actually spending it, then it's not really a problem that they're earning an insane amount of money.
but you can't control what people do with their money.
But at a certain point, you reach a level where you can't really spend that kind of money. Like it's not
Dragon Horde time.
It's not practical, and it just becomes this like penis measuring contest. So I guess what I'm saying is that compared to the 1% who conceivably are actually spending that kind of money on a yearly basis, living definitely that good life. Like I'm not saying I feel bad for them necessarily, but I'm also not saying that I don't think they're villains. I think that the 0.1%, especially if they're not spending it, are a much bigger problem. Because I think, speaking from personal experience, I think spending $1.5 million a year would be extremely difficult. Like extremely difficult. Tell me how to do it on something other than Vancouver real estate. Because I knew that was coming.
You don't have enough money if it's Vancouver real estate.
Yeah, fair enough.
You need more. Come on, pump it up.
That's your down payment, boys.
Yeah. No, I my brain doesn't really go there. But
What on
I'm
earth?
sure Mr. Beast could find a way.
Well, but that's it. He's spending it on his business.
Yeah.
He's employing people.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's
To
great.
be clear, I spend a lot more than $1.5 million a year on employing people. Our payroll here, whoo,
Monstrous.
whoo. I would not be surprised, and this is going to be really scary. I would not be surprised if in 2023, 2024, by the time we hit that time frame, if our payroll cracks 8 figures. I would not be surprised.
I'm like really getting close to finalizing some of my positions, and even though the rest are not, I think I'm just going to have to pull triggers on some of them because like I don't want to drag people along for so long. And yep, that's all I have to say. Developers are expensive. We're hiring more people in that realm. We're hiring more engineers. We're hiring more stuff like that. That's all very expensive roles. Very expensive roles.
This is interesting. Guys, this is a terrible, terrible take. it has begun openly complaining about paying people. Did I complain?
No, he's not. He did not complain.
I said I do. I said that spending $1.5 million is really easy when you employ a gigantic team of people. But that's not what I asked. I asked you to try to spend it personally.
Things in your community and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could go to a movie every day and you wouldn't even get close.
Like you couldn't. Okay, what does that work out to? Here, hold on. Let's do the math. This is fun. $1.5 million. Okay, divided by 365 is $4,109 a day. Okay, so you can only be awake for, let's say, 16 hours a day, right? Let's say you sleep. Okay, yeah. So divided by 16 means that you are making $256 an hour, not for being at work,
just for existing,
for being conscious.
Yeah,
you're making $256 an hour. Okay, divided by 60. You're making $4.02 a minute. So what that means is that, like you said,
are we counting things like rent and stuff? No, right?
Going to a movie. Yeah. Okay, Luke, going to a movie.
You're making money.
Hold on. Going to a movie, which takes about 2 hours, right? 2.5 hours.
Yeah, sure.
So what's that work out to? About 160 minutes. Okay.
You buy some popcorn.
160. You would have to spend $684 on that movie experience in order to come out with less money than you walked in with.
Hopefully that popcorn's got some of that like gold filigree on top of it or something.
So no, Luke, tell me how to spend money faster. What did I divide by? 160. Okay, hold on. Tell me how to spend money faster than $4 a minute.
I think this is it. Just naturally
at
rebuilds
paintball.
On the same problem.
Okay, you could if you can walk your trigger, right? You can go to the paintball field. You buy paint at the field. Okay, super marked up paint. You go like this. Okay, you are spending money faster than you making. Give me one other activity.
You're gonna get really buff fingers.
Like even stuff
you can't let up.
Even extreme activities, right? Like skydiving. Well, you scuba diving. You can only do them so often. You cannot conceivably spend even a flight. Okay, you go to a tropical location. You're flying for 10 hours. Okay, what's 10 hours work out to? 600 minutes. Okay, so times 600. They're $2,500. You literally made more sitting on the plane than it cost you to fly to Mexico.
I think a lot of people solve this problem, if you want to call it that, by buying property. But then that property,
but that's investment.
Just goes up.
That's
in value.
not spending money.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But that's
what's
I think
that movie
what a
called?
lot of people do.
Brewster's Millions, I think it's called. There's this bad movie from the '80s where this guy gets an inheritance, but the rich benefactor has these strings attached where in order to get the big inheritance, they have to spend the small inheritance without retaining any meaningful assets at the end of it. And I think the idea is that they like have to get it out of their system.
Okay.
Or something like that. And I'm giving away the plot. It's kind of a crap movie anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But spoiler alert, he ends up running for office and then trying to lose because if he wins, then
he would
have actually gained
terrible
something.
Plan.
Yeah, it's, whatever.
That's why the movie sucks. They should just they should have just made a movie of some guy who shoots paintballs constantly. Golden plated paintballs.
You know what? Twitch chat apparently likes the movie. I enjoyed it, but I watched it when I was a literal child.
I've never seen it.
And I've heard it's like a bad movie. So just take all of this for the ignorant rambling that it is.
NFTs.
Easy.
People would argue that those are investments.
Yeah, people would argue that those are investments. So come on, hit me.
I don't know. This isn't me.
You can't.
Yeah.
You actually cannot.
Stuff.
You could live that jet set life and not be able to spend that kind of money.
Yeah. I could. Yeah. It would be a job for me.
Cocaine, says the Spanky. I don't know how much cocaine costs, but I would
or how much you could consume safely.
I would hazard a guess that you actually could not consume enough cocaine to overcome that kind of income. Could you consume $4,000 worth of cocaine in a day? I legitimately have no idea what cocaine costs.
No clue.
Okay, yeah, float plane chat, hookers and blow. Okay, all right, okay. My understanding is that ladies of the evening actually are quite expensive, but I literally cannot speak to that from personal experience.
I don't know. It would be
To be clear, not shaming sex work is work. I just want to make that very, very clear.
they should cost a lot.
I'm married.
Yeah.
So and I'm not kink shaming. If you and your married partner are into it, hey, cool. Oh man, how do I get myself out of this corner
You
here?
personally are in a monogamous relationship.
Yes.
Got it. Got him. But yeah, I don't know. For me, this would actually be like a difficult
mostly,
job.
Luke.
Monogamous.
There are
one
carve-outs.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be a very difficult job. Not that. No problems there. But spending that much money that fast would be.
People are like throw banging parties. Fair enough, but you're not going to throw a party every day of the week.
Some people try, I think, don't they? Isn't like socialite culture basically that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Yacht parties? Buy a yacht.
Buying a yacht, yes, that's a popular one.
Is that an investment?
You see this
Buying supercars is like sort of an investment.
Yeah, especially if they're limited edition. That can apparently be a really good investment.
So is buying a yacht an investment? Does that have that same thing going on?
I think yachts depreciate.
I have no idea.
I honestly don't know. You see Bezos is having them like tear down a historic bridge to like float his yacht out to the ocean or something like
Ridiculous.
that. We don't actually know for sure that it's Bezos, but it's rumored to be Bezos.
Say no. just lock his
Just
yacht.
leave it there.
Good luck. Hope you like floating in the river.
Oh man. Yeah.
Invest in Meta. That's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment. I'm talking actually spending it.
Yeah.
It would be hard. It would be legitimately hard.